be English.
Okay.
Or maybe Hindi is understandable by everybody. So.
No, I can speak in English then.
Okay,
But
fine.
maybe the okay. Are you ready?
1 second, we're just taking it live and then we are. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine. Hare Krishna. On behalf of disciples of His Holiness Bhakti Charan Swami Gurumaharaj, we would like to welcome the worldwide community of ISKCON devotees, well-wishers, and friends and family members of His Holiness Bhakti Charan Swami Maharaj. So today is the auspicious occasion of the 73rd Vyasa Puja ceremony, 75th, sorry, Vyasa Puja ceremony, which is being celebrated here. And to inaugurate this auspicious occasion, I would like to request one of the key leaders and sannyasi of the disciples of His Holiness Bhakti Charan Swami Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Prem Swami Maharaj. I would invite Maharaj to glorify His Holiness Bhakti Charan Swami Maharaj, and then we have a list of illustrious speakers, particularly Srila Prabhupada disciples. So we would then hear from them about the glories of Maharaj. Over to you, Bhakti Prem Maharaj.
হরে কৃষ্ণ মায়াপুরবাসী আমাকে ইংরেজিতে বলতে বলেছেন, যদিও মায়াপুর ভক্তদের জন্য আমি ইংরেজিতে বলছি, আমাকে মাফ করবেন, আমাকে ইংরেজিতে বলছেন। নমঃ বিষ্ণুপাদায় কৃষ্ণ পৃষ্ঠায় ভূতলে শ্রীমতে ভক্তি চারু স্বামিতে নামিনে স্নিগ্ধ চেতা সুপ্রণতা বাগ্মিনং চরসাপ্রতম প্রভুপাদগত প্রাণা নৌমি ভক্তি চারুপদম। নমঃ বিষ্ণুপাদায় কৃষ্ণ পৃষ্ঠায় ভূতলে শ্রীমতে ভক্তি বেদান্ত স্বামিতে নামিনে নমস্তে সরস্বতী গৌরমাচারিণে নির্বিশেষ শূন্যবাদী পশ্চাত্য দেশতায়। Dear Most Guru Maharaj, please accept my most humble obeisances unto the dust of your divine lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to your holiness. We never thought that we would celebrate your 75th Vyasa Puja in your physical absence, but we have to accept what Krishna wants. You are enjoying your pastimes with Srila Prabhupada. We are fortunate that you are able to come in Mayapur. In such a corona situation, we never thought government will give permission to bring you in Mayapur. It is another sign that you are so dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wanted you to be with him in his dham. So in such a situation, and with very short time, you came to Mayapur, and the way Mayapur devotees whole world organize celebration, it shows their love for you, and also it shows how dear to you dear for all the devotees of ISKCON. You have created and taught us the family feeling in ISKCON. Yes, we are not missing that. We are surrounded by uncles, aunts, cousins. We are all protected. But at the same time, in the absence of pure devotee like you, there bound to be crisis. But we humbly pray unto lotus feet. Please guide us in such a situation so that we don't do any mistake. We want to fulfill your desire. We want to serve Srila Prabhupada. We want to follow the authority. We want to follow the GBC guidelines. We want to spread the mission of Srila Prabhupada. You know we are immature. You have chastised us so many times. Please continue to chastise. The way in your physical presence you corrected us, I beg and pray to you, please guide us the same way. Mayapur is your eternal home. You are there, devotees are so happy you are there. They are so nicely serving you there. Whole world is very happy that you are in Mayapur. And inside, beside the Srila Prabhupada and also with your God brothers, in your eternal place, please guide us from there and allow us to combinedly serve in Srila Prabhupada's mission. Please forgive me for not following your instruction seriously. The instruction you have given me, please empower me so that I can follow without any reservation. Begging to be your eternal servant, Bhakti Vamsha. Shishmad Bhakti Charaswami Gurumaharaj ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. There's a request that has been coming only for 2 minutes. If you could speak in Bengali as well, just for 2 minutes, and address the Bengali community of all the devotees of Mayapur.
Hare Krishna. ভক্তগণ আপনাদের চরণে অনন্ত কোটি প্রণাম। মায়াপুর আসলে গুরু মহারাজের নিত্যধাম। চৈতন্য মহাপুর নিত্য পার্ষদ, যেহেতু প্রভুপাদের নিত্য পার্ষদ में অর্থাৎ কৃষ্ণের নিত্য পার্ষদ। প্রভুপাদ আমেরিকায় যেভাবে শরীর ত্যাগ করলেন গুরু মহারাজ, এবং এই করোনার পরিস্থিতিতে আমেরিকা থেকে গুরু মহারাজকে নিয়ে আসা একটা কষ্টসাধ্য বিষয় ছিল, এবং কর্তৃপক্ষ এরকম সিদ্ধান্ত করেছিলেন গুরু মহারাজকে সেখানেই সমাধি কিছু করা হবে। কিন্তু যেহেতু চৈতন্য মহাপ্রভু চান তাকে মায়াপুরে আনার জন্য, তাই তিনি খুব অতি সহজে অল্প দিনের মধ্যেই মায়াপুরে এসেছেন। এর দ্বারা প্রমাণিত হয় যে তিনি মহাপ্রভুর নিত্য পার্ষদ। মহারাজ আমাদেরকে যেভাবে শিক্ষা দিয়েছেন থাকার জন্য, এবং সেটা মহারাজের বর্তমানে আমরা অবশ্য সেটা বোধ করছি যে আমাদের কাকা, জ্যাঠা, পিসি, পিসো, কাকাতো ভাই, জ্যাঠাতো ভাই, এভাবে যে পরিবারে কত সুন্দরভাবে থাকা যায়, প্রভুপাদ যে সেই উদ্দেশ্যে ইস্কন তৈরি করেছেন, এবং সেই পরিবারের থেকে আমরা কতক্ষণ আনন্দে আছি, নতুবা গুরু মহারাজের এইরকম অনুপস্থিতিতে আমাদের ভক্তি জীবন চালানো অসম্ভব হতো। আমাদের গুরুবর্গ শিশমত জগৎস্বামী গুরু মহারাজ থেকে শুরু করে অন্যান্য সমস্ত গুরুবর্গ কিভাবে আমাদেরকে সুরক্ষা প্রদান করছেন। ব্যক্তিগতভাবে তারা টেলিফোন করে কথা বলছেন, জিজ্ঞাসা করছেন কোনো অসুবিধা আছে কিনা। তো এভাবে আমরা ইস্কনে অত্যন্ত সুরক্ষিত। তো গুরু মহারাজ চরণে আমরা প্রার্থনা করব যেন তিনি আমাদের সমস্ত অপরাধ ক্ষমা করেন, তিনি যেন আমাদের প্রভুপাদের এই চরণের সেবা করার জন্য আনিতভাবে নিয়োজিত রাখেন। বিশেষ করে আমরা যারা মায়াপুরে সেবা করছি, মায়াপুরের এই সেবা থেকে যেন আমরা যেন বঞ্চিত না হই। গুরু মহারাজ মায়াপুরে থাকছেন, বিশেষ করে মায়াপুরবাসীদের পক্ষ হয়ে আমি ভগবানের চরণে প্রার্থনা করছি যেন আমরা মায়াপুর থেকে যেন আমরা কোথাও না যাই। মহাপুর নিত্য ধাম, গুরু মহারাজ এখানে আছেন, প্রভুপাদ আছেন। আজ শুভ দিনে, আজ ৭৫তম আবির্ভাবতিতে আমরা কোনোদিন ভাবিনি গুরু মহারাজ অনুপস্থিতি, শারীরিক অনুপস্থিতি আমাদের, কিন্তু কৃষ্ণের যা ইচ্ছা সেটা আমাদের মেনে নিতে হবে। আমরা আজকের তিথিতে গুরু মহারাজের চরণে আকুলভাবে প্রার্থনা করছি তিনি যেন আমাদের সমস্ত অপরাধ ক্ষমা করে শিল প্রভুপাদের সেবা করার জন্য আমাদের যুক্ত রাখেন। পরমারাধ্য গুরুদেব শ্রী শ্রীমৎ ভক্তাচার্য স্বামী গুরু মহারাজ কি জয়।
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for your very kind words. And it's like a formal beginning of this very auspicious ceremony. Right after your message and your glorification, we will now be hearing from Maharaj for a few minutes, and then we will invite his god brothers and other senior Vaishnavas. We again express our gratitude that you took time out and addressed us. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Maharaj. So now we shall move to hear from His Holiness Bhakticharu Maharaj in Bengali language, a language that was his native language. And as His Holiness Bhakti Prem Maharaj mentioned, Mayapur is his Nitya Dham. So let's hear from Maharaj in the sweetest Bengali that we have ever heard, so to say. So here are some wisdom pearls and nectarian drops coming from His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj. In a moment, we will be pulling up, the screen will be there on your computers and mobile screens. We are waiting for the class to start, and now you can hear from His Holiness Bhakticharu Swami Maharaj, Shri Shikshashtakam. So we are very happy that now we have with us His Grace Pankajangari Prabhu, and we will be hearing from Prabhuji about the glorification of his dear God brother, His Holiness Bhakti Chadu Swami Maharaj. Um, Welcome, Pankajangari Prabhu. Thank you so much for taking time out to address the worldwide community of devotees concerning the glories.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Prabhuji, loud and clear.
Jananas is going to speak.
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay,
Okay.
so first we'll be hearing from Jananivas Prabhu. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari.
Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Jai.
So I can tell a little story of how dear that His Holiness Bhakti True Swami Maharaj was to Srila Prabhupada. I just speak in English or you on translation?
English, Prabhuji.
Yeah, this is a story illustrating how dear Srila Bhakti True Maharaj was to Srila Prabhupada. This was during Prabhupada's, the Tirupava of Prabhupada in Vrindavan, and the Kaviraj, he told Bhakti True Swami that most probably Prabhupada's going to leave his body today at about 7:30. Maybe it was the Amrita Yoga or something. And so Bhakti True Maharaj, he went to the next room from Prabhupada. Prabhupada was laying on his bed with all the devotees chanting Hare Krishna. So Bhakti True Maharaj and Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Bhavananda Prabhu, they went in the next room. They were discussing that, you know, what do we do next? Prabhupada's not here. He may not be here any moment. So what's our next move? We haven't planned, because actually it was impossible. We thought it was impossible that Prabhupada would ever leave, but somehow or another. So they had this dilemma. What shall we do? What's the next move? And while they were discussing like this, then all of a sudden the vibration in that room was so intense, they just stood up and they all ran in the other room where Prabhupada was. Prabhupada had just left. He just left that moment before. Anyway, about a week later, one of Prabhupada's disciples, her name is, she married Prabhas. What was it? Prabhap. Anyway, this Mataji Prabhupada disciple, she had a dream in there in Vrindavan. And Prabhupada came in her dream. And she said, "Oh, Prabhupada, where are you now?" She said, "Oh, I'm in Goloka." And then she said to Prabhupada, why did you leave like that? Why did you leave like that? And Srila Prabhupada said to her that Bhakti True and Samakrishna Maharaj and Bhavananda, he said, they are gentlemen, and I did not like to leave in their presence. So this story is illustrating how Prabhupada, he didn't like to leave in the presence of his senior devotees, and showing that the love and care that Prabhupada has for all of his disciples. Thank you very much for sharing the little past Leela. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you so much, His Grace Jananivas Prabhu, for. And now I would like to invite His Grace Pankanjangari Prabhu to please glorify His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
You can see anything? Okay, you can see me?
Yes, we can see you and we can hear you clearly.
Okay, I can't see anything from here, but doesn't matter. Jai Om Vishpat Prabhangsa Parigrahar Sri Samad Bhakti Chari Swami Maharaj ki jai. Sri Bhakti Chari Swami Maharaj Arbat Titi Mahotsav ki jai. So on this very auspicious day, that first day of Purushottam month, this is a very auspicious day for the Vaishnavas. Can you hear me? Hello?
We can hear you, Prabhuji, very clearly, and we
Okay.
can see you also very clearly.
Okay, I'm sorry everything's gone off up here.
No, not at all, Prabhuji. Please go ahead.
So on that very auspicious day, it's the day of Bhakti Chari Maharaj's appearance day. It's also the Purushottam Adimas begins on this day also. It's a very wonderful day. We can, especially for increasing our remembrance of the Lord and his devotees. Yesterday we had the Adivas, which we celebrate the day before. Important occasions like when the Lord appears and or his great devotees appear, which are the most important things in the world, in the material world, because the Lord and his associates, they're the ones that actually give us information, guidance, how to go back to Godhead, how to reawaken our dormant love of Krishna. As Holiness Bhakti Chari Maharaj said in the class this morning, that Srila Prabhupada said, I'm not coming to teach you anything. He said, I've just come to remind you of what we've forgotten, that actually we're the eternal servants of Krishna. He was explaining that is the Guru's job, to remind us of our lost loving relationship with Krishna. So he was, Bhakti Chari Maharaj was a very great soul, exemplary disciple of Srila Prabhupada, that in his behavior, in his speech, he was always noticed for his gentleness, his kindness, his sweetness, and his astute learning and assimilation of Krishna consciousness through the way of Srila Prabhupada. So he was he became first class devotee. So having all these qualities, then naturally he can lead the other devotees. So he also took that responsibility, because it is a great responsibility. One takes the karma of the disciples. So it's a very personal responsibility also. But he was quite capable and confident as being a transparent via media to Srila Prabhupada and the rest of the Parampara to Krishna. His achievements were many in different parts of the world. He almost salvaged yatras, which were in great difficulty. He used to go to many troubled spots and pick up the consciousness of the devotees and get that zone running again. His life story of Srila Prabhupada on the video by Charan, wonderful achievements. He was always, he would be easily approachable, very merciful. He would extend himself to any devotee who approached him sincerely. He was always kind to us. He used to invite us to prasadam sometimes when he came back from traveling. And he got, because of his culture, because of his cultured behavior and understanding of Krishna consciousness and spiritual advancement, then he was made the GBC made him the, what do you call it? What's the title? Huh? I can't remember. What is that title? Minister of Culture, sorry, of course. They made him the Minister of Culture. And it was a very apt title because he was a very cultured person. Prabhupada detected that immediately, his abilities. So even when he asked, Srila Prabhupada sometimes used to ask the disciples, his disciples' opinions. I remember one time Prabhupada was with his leading disciples. I happened to be there in Prabhupada's room, and he was talking about opening a center in Bhubaneswar or Puri. There was an option. So all the disciples were saying, most of them, Puri was the place. It's a famous tourist place, or quite international. Lots of people go there, and Prabhupada said, but Bhubaneswar is a capital city, and it's an up and coming thing. We should do it there, but he did ask their opinion. Although most people voted for Puri, Prabhupada decided on Bhubaneswar, and that place where we got the temple, it was barren. It was like it was just a wasteland. Nothing would grow there practically except some scrub bushes. But now that place has become the very hub. Then the whole new town gradually moved up that way, so it's like the very center. So the Prabhupada had these foresight. So when he said, Bhakti Churu, we should give him sannyas. What do you think? The devotee said, well, Srila is brand new. He's only, he's just, because Prabhupada gave him first initiation at the same time. What do you think? Well, he's very new, Prabhupada. He's very young. And Prabhupada said, yeah, but he's educated. He's Bengali. I think we should give, sorry, even though Prabhupada just asked opinion, he would act according to his own instinct. So he understood the capabilities of Bhakti Churu Maharaj, where everyone else thought that he could use some more time to get more experience, etc. But Prabhupada knew his abilities. And so he gave him that sannyasi very quickly, very young age. And Bhakti Churu Maharaj was endeared to everyone, and his contribution to ISKCON actually is irreplaceable. Some of these aspects, but then you'll find that in lots of devotees. When a devotee leaves, you think, wow, in that these particular qualities or his particular service that he's doing, no one else can do that. until the next person comes along and does it. And it was the same with, His Holiness Ramakrishna Maharaj. We had no one to fill that gap. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, no one to fill that gap. So they were, Govinda Maharaj, no one could fill. There's no one to fill those gaps, but somehow it goes on. But every devotee has some unique qualities which are, we think they're irreplaceable, but somehow, even though they're irreplaceable, the show goes on, and then but it's the same. You see, everyone has some qualities which are kind of irreplaceable. At the time, we think are irreplaceable. But the movement goes on and grows, and the young ones grow up and take over and follow in the footsteps, and they imbibe those qualities. So Bhakti Maharaj was in that category of some of the fields of his service was actually irreplaceable. But it will go on anyway without him. And he'll be honored for a long time to come for his contribution to the International Society for Krishna Consciousness movement, which Prabhupada said will go down as a movement which changed the course of history in the world. Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON ki jai. His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Nandi, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, His Grace Pangajangri Prabhu, for sharing so many memories. They were very vivid in your description. I would now like to invite His Holiness Bhakti Vidyapurna Swami Maharaj to share with us the glories of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj.
Prior is given time for 10:40. In change or what?
Okay, Maharaj. Due to some reasons, Maharaj, we had to start little late. We began at 10:20. That was the reason. May I place you right after Maharaj's glorification, if you allow?
I'll try because I am supposed to go for some other functions now downstairs. Anyway.
Okay. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
If by that time I am not called downstairs, then I'll continue. Otherwise,
Sure.
Otherwise, Purushottam Maharaj can speak now. I can speak after. I won't be going downstairs.
They have function for Maharaj, so they are calling me there.
No. I'm just saying that. I'll be just sitting here.
Okay.
So you go ahead. You speak because you have something to do.
Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Please.
Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakticharu Samaneti Namine Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Samaneti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschate. So today is appearance day of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. So this is the first appearance day we are celebrating with the Maharaj's physical presence here with us. So appearance day is very nice day for us, but sometime we are missing Maharaj. That's why it is the day where we feel happiness and also lamentation. So even if Maharaj has left us, but he is with us in his great qualities within our heart, within our memories. Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj was sent to this material world by Lord Krishna, and Maharaj has unlimited great qualities. How can you see how much time? Okay, great qualities. And there's a realization came to me last few days. I have been meditating on Maharaj. How I feel like he's like a jewel in our society. He stands out Even though we have so many qualified personalities in our society, but Maharaj is like a jewel in every respect. He's like a cherry on the top of the cake. ISKCON, compared to a cake, he's like a cherry on top of the cake. So Maharaj is endowed with so much great qualities that I have observed how his seniors in the sense, sometimes I go with Maharaj to Gaudiya Math functions, Puri Maharaj, different Maharajas, and I have seen how they have so much affection towards Maharaj. And he, because of his great qualities, he draws the attention of everybody. Seniors are very affectionate towards him. His god brothers, they all love him like anything. And his followers like us, his disciples, we all have so much respect. And I have observed, even if karmic people once come in contact with Maharaj, they fall in love with him because of his great qualities. So one thing I was meditating, that Kunti Devi is saying, the people having these 4 qualities can never invite Krishna, can never become a good devotee of Krishna. The 4 qualities are Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Srivi, Edamanam, Adapama. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Sri. Birth in good family, opulence, is Panditya, learned, intelligence, knowledge, and beauty. And we can all see Srila Bhakti Maharaj was equipped with all these 4 things. Janma, he appeared in very aristocratic family. Like 40, 50 years from now, that time he was sent by his father to German for education, means that proves he is not from an ordinary family. And I have been to Maharaj's birthplace, his house, that shows his aristocratic and also his greatness, that he appeared in Bangladesh, where all great personalities took birth also. So overall, his Janma is very great, from very aristocratic. And Aishwarya, definitely he's from a rich family, he could afford to go to German for studying. And even if in ISKCON life we have seen, Maharaj is always in very opulent life. All of us will agree. He eats very opulently, Maharaj wears very opulently, his lifestyle, everything is very opulent. Aishwarya, so much donation, so much money. All of us, we know it very well. All the rich people, they get attracted to Maharaj. Janma Aishwarya, Shruta, his intelligence, he's so learned, so scholarly personality, Vedic knowledge, he has received Vedic knowledge and he presents so expertly. We have many learned scholarly personality in ISKCON. I have not seen like Maharaj, the way he presents things so perfectly and he memorized things so nicely. Actually, he has left a storehouse of knowledge for us in this earthly planet. So his Panditya, and also then his beauty. He is such a beautiful person, also handsome personality. Everybody will agree to that. Yesterday, one police officer called me. 30 years before he was known to me. All of a sudden he called, he's retired. And he was mentioning, oh, I felt very sad that Bhakti Maharaj left, and he's such a beautiful person, he is mentioning. So my point is, he has all 4 qualities. Which person, according to Kunti Devi, somebody possessing this cannot invite Krishna. But how he becomes such a great devotee of Krishna? It's because in spite of all these great qualities, which normally and supposed to make people very proud, But in spite of that, he was very humble and meek. He has no mother, no abhiman for all these great qualities. We recognize his great qualities, but Maharaj never recognized. He was endowed with so many great qualities. That's why he's always meek and humble in front of his seniors, in front of his god brothers. All god brothers must have realized that. Even if juniors like us also, he always present himself like incarnation of humbleness. So this is very unique things that I found, that Maharaj, even if he equipped with all these four qualities, Janma, Aishwarya, Sruta, Sri, so but he invoked the mercy of Lord Krishna because of humbleness and meek nature. Actually, he is great devotee, not he become devotee in this life. He must be devotee from before. He must be very close to Lord Krishna, whom Krishna chose to send him to this material world to deliver fallen souls like us. And he was very dear to Krishna because he was very dear to Srila Prabhupada. So when Maharaj left body, everybody, he went back to Prabhupada. Nobody saying he went back to Krishna. Everybody saying, and Maharaj had desire to go back to Prabhupada. So that is another great thing also. So we can see that Maharaj exhibited, exemplified by that, by surrendering himself completely onto the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. And another thing, always I tell to Bangladesh devotees, to really analyze all great personalities in Mahaprabhu's movement, like Mahaprabhu himself, Advaita Acharya, Srivas Thakur, and they're all from Bangladesh. Then afterwards, the Acharyas, like Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivas, they're all from Bangladesh. Then also, after that, Madhavendra Puri from Bangladesh. And to keep continue in that line, ISKCON, also Srila Bhaktivinoda Maharaj, he appeared in Bangladesh. So in this way, that is another great thing also. We have one great personality who has come from the same background, from where the personalities they came from and started this whole Hare Krishna movement initially with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Maharaj has his storehouse of knowledge. We are very, very grateful to Maharaj. So we live with his knowledge that he has left for us here. So on this auspicious appearance day of His Holiness Srila Bhaktivinoda Maharaj, I offer my prostrated obeisances at his lotus feet, and I beg, as he would see me, see all of us so affectionately, he will continue blessing us with his affectionate mood towards all of us. Jai Srila Bhaktivinoda Maharaj ki jai, jai His Holiness Appearance Day celebration ki jai. Hare Krishna, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you so much, His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj, for wonderful glorification of His Holiness Bhakti Chala Swami Maharaj. And now I would like to invite His Holiness Bhakti Vidya Purna Swami Maharaj to please share with us his realizations and glorify His Holiness Bhakti Chala Maharaj. Over to you, Maharaj.
Om Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So we see the Acharyas are always talking about Vaishnava etiquette. Rupa Goswami makes this point. Srila Prabhupada brings this up. Everybody talks about it. Krishna's pleased with the qualities of the devotees. So it's a very essential topic, the Vaishnava etiquette, how to behave, how to interact, how to apply Krishna consciousness in your life. So we see that Bhakti Charumarsh, one of the elements that was very unique was his preaching of this process of devotional service, this process and the qualities, expected to follow this. Most others would either talk the regular philosophy, just the straight technical philosophy, or discuss about, the importance of preaching, or tell various pastimes of the Lord, to inspire us in that way. So many, the Sankirtan means all these aspects are there. We see uniqueness in Bhakti Charumarsh. He would speak on the process. Much of the time he would give classes from Nectar Devotion, talk about the 64 items of devotional service, speak on the qualities of the Vaishnavas. So this was something, that he would focus on, because he himself, would have these qualities, as Purushottam Maharaj was pointing out, just the character and the background he would have. And he would expect others to develop these. He would always encourage anyone who's around him to increase and develop the qualities and that. That was always his mood. Remember once we were cooking in Vrindavan for Srila Prabhupada, and there was a devotee there that had come. He wanted to, do some service and all that. And I think he was, dealing in kind of like medical aspect. And so, with some variety of alternative medicine kind of things. And he was there, and when he would come, because it was a small kitchen, Prabhupada's kitchen, it wasn't that big. He would take a lot of space and this and do so many things. And somehow or another, I think his treatment wasn't working so well or something. And so, as being the assistant in the kitchen, means Bhakti Charumarsh was the cook. I was the assistant. I'd cut things or grind things that he'd tell how to do it. And so then, I was telling Bhakti Charumarsh, it says, this devotee here is, just making a disturbance in the kitchen, taking up so much space and stuff, and he's very messy and all that. And so I said, we should tell him something like that. And so Bhakti Charumarsh says, no need to tell. He said, he's making the point that he's come here to do some service for Prabhupada, so intention is very good. And anyway, after 2 days, he has to leave anyway. He has other services and that. He has to leave. He's only here, for one more day. And then after that, he'll be leaving. So why make him feel uncomfortable or bad? He's come here to do some nice service for Prabhupada. Whether the service itself was so technically effective, that wasn't the point. The point was he came to try to do something nice. And so Bhakti Charumarsh's point was, we should be cultured and acknowledge, rather than simply the point of, justice and this is right and that's wrong, and this isn't efficient and that is, and like these kind of things, which is much of the time a more contemporary kind of approach. But Bhakti Charumarsh was always, it was more about the culture. And because of the culture, then that's why you would consider how you behaved or not. So it wasn't efficiency of mechanical unfolding. It was how well people, the interaction, the character, and how well they dealt with each other, how much was the etiquette in that. I'm sure if the person was going to be there another 2 weeks, Maharaj in his super gentle and cultured way would have explained something to him. But his point was, why create anxiety now, in the mind of this devotee, because he's going, And so that's how it went. It was very nice. So many devotees would come into the kitchen and do something and make something for Prabhupada, some special thing or this or that. And Bhakti Charumarsh is always very tolerant of that, because he would see they're doing service. And so, that's the whole point. It's not our kitchen. It's not his kitchen, things like that. So, yeah. So you'd see that character. And then let's say if he's sitting and talking to you, like I remember when he was in Calcutta, in rainy place, then it was rainy place, wasn't it? It wasn't sunny place. I think that was the next road over. So rainy
Park.
Rainy Park. Yeah, because there was, if you went the other side of the Birla Mandir, there was a sunny park, you know. So he was there, and he'd be sitting there, and he'd be, you know, discussing or something. And if someone came in, then he would just, you know, as you know, in a cultured way, he'd always you know, invite them, come to sit like that. He'd introduce everybody who they are. They'd introduce who this person who just came is. And, you know, he would say it all in some very nice way and everything nice like that. So always cultured like that. Or if food was going on, he'd always invite people. You know, it's like he'd be arranging something and something nice, then he would be, you know, walking along, meet somebody he knows and that, you know, it's very dear. It's, oh, I'm doing this today, you please come, and that. And so you'd end up with this whole party, even though it was originally started out as something, you know, more small, but it would end up this big party because he just felt that, you know, it's just, you're doing something nice, all these nice devotees should take part, everybody should, you know, enjoy. So it was always very much this aspect of sharing and everything like that. So we should appreciate that this culture, this character, this is the thing to imbibe. That's what goes on. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that the Vaishnav lives on by his instructions. So that's both in the way of his example and his precepts. So both. So how he's instructed, how he gave example. So both of those things can be very much appreciated by the devotees at present, and as Mara said before, that have been known for a very long time, remembered for a very long time. So this is, instead of just lamenting, it's a matter of, in that environment, still, the culture is there, the character is there, the activities are there, the example is there. So if we take that and follow that, then we'll always be with Maharaj. And this way, then we can be satisfied. We can be, yeah, be peaceful. Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for your wonderful glorification. And now we have with us His Grace Nareshwar Prabhu. I would request him to kindly glorify His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj on his auspicious appearance. Over to you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, thank you very much, Prabhuji. Well, I met Maharaj in 1977, at the beginning of 1977, when I came to Mayapur from New York. And we actually, yeah, we were contemporaries. We got initiated together. And we both got initiated together. Of course, you know, I've told the story. He got both initiations at the same time, and I waited. You'll hear so many nice things about Maharaj from all the different speakers. You know, I'm not going to really talk about any of our time together. We were quite close. We lived together for some time. We stayed together. And what I wanted to talk about was the service that Maharaj did for Srila Prabhupada and his BBT. Right in the beginning, when Bhakti True Maharaj joined and started associating with devotees, of course he was very much into reading, and he found some writings of Prabhupada, Bengali writings. Yeah, I think they were Bengali. Anyway, he found some different writings in the Gaudiya Math magazine. And even before Prabhupada came to Mayapur, before he started to organize that into a book. And he wanted to offer that book to Prabhupada. He wanted to show, he thought it was very nice, and he thought it would be nice book in Bengali to be, which could be distributed. I can't remember the name of the book, but Prabhupada was very, very happy when he saw that, when Bhakti Churu Maharaj offered it to him and said, and Prabhupada was very happy with that. And, Prabhupada encouraged him, and he asked him to translate his books into Bengali language. At that time, I think probably we only had, I could be wrong, but I think we only had that Gita.
Gita Gan.
Gita Gan, yeah. I think we only had Gita Gan in Bengali. So that book that he prepared was like the first book that was probably printed in Bengali. And Prabhupada asked Maharaj to translate his books into Bengali. And so when, you know how Prabhupada just took him right into his inner circle, and Maharaj started to, he wasn't Ban Maharaj at that time, but he became Maharaj very soon after, within a few months. Prabhupada kept him with him, and he was doing that translating work along with whatever other service he was doing for Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was giving him training, instruction on what he wanted, how he wanted it done, and then we see, he starting with Bhagavad Gita and several other books, and the whole Bhagavatam and the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's an immense body of work. All of Prabhupada's books into Bengali. And so that was a monumental service that Maharaj did for Srila Prabhupada and for the book trust and for the movement. Now you see in Bengal, out of Mayapur and in Calcutta, millions of these Bengali books of Srila Prabhupada are going out, and people are appreciating them, and people are, we've got, I don't know, tens of thousands of devotees, Namhara devotees, all kinds of devotees joining because of these books which Maharaj translated. So yeah, we really appreciate that. And at the BBT, I'm part of the global BBT, and we really appreciate that aspect of Maharaj's service that he offered to Srila Prabhupada. And actually, if, what we actually resolved, if the disciples allow, we would like to place a plaque on his samadhi, recognizing that wonderful service. So yeah, that's all really I wanted to focus on, that work. I worked with him on some of that because I was the trustee of the thing, and so that's one of the things that we worked together on. He did everything actually. I didn't really do anything, just try to facilitate what he was doing, his service. That's what I did. That's all I did. So yeah, Bhakti Churu Maharaj was a exemplary devotee, as you will hear from anyone and everyone that you ask. But for me, that aspect of the service that he did stands out. Books are the basis. Books are the basis of our movement. That's Prabhupada's words, and Bhakti Churu Maharaj made it possible by his work and by his effort to give those books to all the Bengali speakers, and not just in West Bengal, or Bangladesh is also there. So Hare Krishna, thank you very much. All glories to Bhakti Churu Maharaj. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you so much, Nareshwar Prabhu. for glorifying His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj. We have our next speaker, His Holiness Subhad Swami Maharaj, and after him, the next speaker would be His Grace Pancharatna Prabhu. So I would request Maharaj, His Holiness Subhad Swami Maharaj, to kindly now glorify His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj on his auspicious Vyasa Puja day. Over to you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. So this is very shocking when we heard last and overwhelming news. Couldn't expect that so soon Maharaj will suddenly disappear from our physical vision. Anyway, if I reflect back, excuse my English. So I think 1977 or 76 sometime I saw him in Mayapur, Mayapur. I think. So Maharaj was engaged in Prabhupada's service, I think, at that time. His name was previously, I think, Kishore. What is title? I forgot. Anyway, then in a very short time, he Bhavananda Maharaj, he took him and he met Prabhupada in Kumbh Mela, Allahabad. And then on, I'm seeing him engaged in Bengali magazine, editing and translating. And Prabhupada, voluminous, all the books, he was translating in a small machine. Of course, it is very remarkable within a short time, in such a huge voluminous work of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and many others. Bhakti, Dasamrita, Sindhu. As I remember, during this time, so many things happened, and so I cannot tell in chronological order. Another remarkable thing he did is that a serial on Prabhupada's life, and it's very good. He was representing, and in our Mayapur saw and appreciated by many. And this even it was shown in national channel in Indian television for some time, for a period of time. So it is very good. And next is, as I know, is a wonderful temple, which ISKCON we don't see. Maybe within 1 year, I was invited. I went there before it has been built once, and then I was invited again in opening time. And most of the Prabhupadas at that time living disciples were there, and they highly appreciated. It's a very beautiful temple. Maharaj says done by the marble, same that Taj Mahal is made. And devotees seem to be very joyful. Especially Bhakti Maharaj is very good in, and I see from my experience, is very hospitable, and he wrote also a book called Vaishnava Etiquette and all this, and his behavior is very good in such a way that in a short time he can make somebody feel at home and like a own family member. And this way, he's also over and above is a very good cook. I had the experience doing BBT and writing that. He'll be asking one day, Maharaj, what do you like cooking? At that time, Calcutta, rainy road or place, when we had an office, good office there. And he was making monk's delight. And it's very, evidently very palatable. Whatever he cooks, he cooked for Prabhupada also, during Prabhupada's passing away from our physical vision. And hurdles. Well, this is achievement I'm telling, but one thing is when he joined very quickly, Prabhupada gave him the sannyas, must be deserves, and also the leaders made him a GBC member in a short time. So, as I understand, GBC is supposed to be by Prabhupada top authority and top Vaishnava. So I must say, I cannot speak much about it. What I learned from my Guru, simply I am saying. And I am sure many devotees will miss him. In a way, he was doing very good. Later on, also one after another, trying to put Prabhupada at the center of the society, founder Acharya, making Prabhupada's Srimurti, and what after becoming GBC, once he went to Europe, I don't know, he may be the GBC there also, I don't know this in detail. I heard he collected, when he was in very danger, we are going to lose that new Mayapur, Chateau. And at that time, he was there, he collected some $800,000 from Europeans, especially patrons of ISKCON in England. And it helped a lot to get back that chateau. And also later on, I am asking him, he remained silent and ultimately found that it was successful. We got back scammer handed building, huge, in ISKCON's hand. It's very difficult going to lose. Somebody's going to, some ISKCON devotees going to sell it out. This is also, I find, one of the very challenging thing. I must say, he can get credit to how to handle and get it done. So I will, in short, say as much as it comes in my mind, I'm not such an experienced person, I must admit, but what I see and appreciate, I will tell this. I hope Maharaj would have stayed longer and encouraged many others, future generation. Of course, whatever he has done, it will encourage and inspire others. All glories to His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj and our GBC leaders offered guidance anytime to his disciples, so they can they can at least get some solace from this in his absence, and remembering him and his guidance, they can carry on to help our ISKCON leaders to this preaching work. Very well. All glories to His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, His Holiness Subhad Swami Maharaj. Very deep and profound realization, and a bit of sense of separation also there. Yes, we all recognize that, most of us tend to feel that it's too soon to have happened. Nonetheless, now the program will continue, and I request all senior Vaishnavas to kindly watch this program live from mayapur.tv or the YouTube channel of Mayapur TV, because His Grace Pancharatna Prabhu is giving his glorification there. Followed by that would be other Prabhupada disciples. At 12 noon, we will be joined by His Holiness Jayapataga Swami Maharaj. So I request you now, you all may log out from the Zoom call, and the program will continue on to mayapur.tv and Mayapur TV YouTube channel till 12:30, till the time we don't enter into the Pushpanjali, and then followed by that the Aartis. So thank you once again. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj ki jai, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj Vyasa Puja ceremony ki jai, All glories to all you Vaishnavas. Request you all now, you may please log out.